Have you ever wondered if rejection could actually be your greatest advantage in life? What if every no you faced was a stepping stone to something greater, not a dead end? Stick around because today, we're diving deep into 13 powerful lessons on how to use rejection, yes, even painful love rejection to your advantage. Inspired by ancient wisdom, reverse psychology, and some timeless teachings from Marcus Aurelius. Trust me, these ideas could transform how you see rejection forever. Before we get started, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on content that can change your life. And watch till the end, because one lesson in particular might completely shift how you approach love and relationships. Let's dive in. Rejection. We've all felt its sting. Maybe it was that dream job, a circle of friends, or the love you wanted so badly. For me, it was in college. There was someone I cared about deeply, and I took the leap only to hear the dreaded, "I just don't feel the same." At first, it felt like my world was crumbling. But what if I told you that rejection isn't an enemy? It's a teacher. As Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. It wasn't until I started seeing rejection as a tool, not a trap, that my entire perspective changed. So today, let's uncover 13 lessons that can help you turn rejection, especially love rejection, into your most powerful advantage. 1. Rejection clarifies your desires. Have you ever fallen for someone so deeply that you couldn't imagine life without them? Maybe you dreamed about being with them, thought about your future together, and even built a version of your life around the hope of their love. But then it happened, they rejected you. I'll never forget the first time it happened to me. Her name was Sarah. She was everything I thought I wanted: kind, funny, and with the kind of smile that could light up a room. I finally worked up the courage to tell her how I felt. And what did she say? "I don't see you that way." At that moment, it felt like my entire world shattered. I started questioning everything about myself. Was I not good enough? Not attractive enough? What did I do wrong? But here's the thing, that rejection, as painful as it was, forced me to stop and really think. Was it truly Sarah I wanted? Or was it the idea of being with someone who made me feel safe and admired? This is where rejection becomes your teacher. It shines a light on what you genuinely desire, not just in love, but in life. Sometimes we pursue people or goals because they look good on the surface, but rejection strips away the illusions. It makes you ask, what do I really want? Let me ask you this. Have you ever been rejected and later realized it was the best thing that could have happened? Maybe they weren't right for you after all. Maybe their no cleared the path for something or someone better. Marcus Aurelius, the wise Stoic philosopher, sighed, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Rejection doesn't close doors, it points you toward the ones you're truly meant to walk through. So the next time someone says, "No," I want you to think about this. Is this rejection redirecting you toward something better? Because more often than not, it is. And once you realize that, you'll stop seeing rejection as a dead end and start seeing it as a compass, guiding you to where you're supposed to be. 2. Use reverse psychology on yourself. Now let's talk about a sneaky little trick, reverse psychology. But this time it's not about convincing someone else to do something. It's about flipping your own mindset. Let's dive deeper into this idea. Picture this, you've just been rejected by someone you care deeply about. Maybe you confessed your feelings to a crush, or maybe your long-term partner walked away. What's the first thing that happens? You spiral. You think, what did I do wrong? How can I win them back? But here's a question, what if, instead of chasing after them, you told yourself, this rejection is my freedom. They've just opened the door for me to grow, to heal, and to find someone who truly sees my worth. It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? But that's the magic of reverse psychology. Marcus Aurelius believed we create our reality through our thoughts. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. Let me share a story. After my rejection from Sarah, I couldn't stop replaying our conversations in my head. What if I'd said something different? What if I'd been better, smarter, or more attractive? Then one day, I stopped and thought, what if her rejection wasn't about me at all? What if it was about her own fears, preferences, or timing? That shift in thinking changed everything. Instead of seeing her no as a judgment of my worth, I saw it as her freeing me to focus on myself. I started working out, picking up hobbies I loved, and rebuilding my confidence. And you know what? Once I stopped seeking her approval, I started feeling like the best version of myself. So here's your challenge. The next time you face rejection, don't dwell on the loss. Instead, flip it. Tell yourself, they've done me a favor. This is my chance to grow into someone even better. Have you ever tried this before? If not, try it now. Use reverse psychology on yourself and watch how your mindset and your life transform. 3. Rejection builds resilience. Let me ask you this. What's the toughest rejection you've ever faced? Was it someone you loved who didn't love you back? Or maybe a dream you pursued that didn't pan out? Think about how it made you feel. Painful, right? But now think about this. Did that rejection break you? Or did it make you stronger? Resilience isn't built in comfort. It's built in adversity. And rejection, as painful as it is one of the greatest tools for building resilience. When I was rejected by Sarah, it felt like the end of the world. I thought, how can I ever face her again? How can I trust someone else with my feelings? But then I remembered something a mentor once told me. Every no is like weightlifting for your soul. The more you face it, the stronger you become. Marcus Aurelius, who faced rejection from people he led, wrote, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." What he's saying is this: if you let rejection define your worth, you're giving away your power. But if you see it as a stepping stone, you reclaim that power. Think about a time when you were rejected but kept going. Maybe you didn't get the job you wanted, but you landed a better one later. Or maybe someone broke your heart, but you met someone who loved you deeply after. Rejection doesn't stop you, it sharpens you. Here's a thought experiment. Imagine if every time you were rejected, you said, "Good, this is making me stronger." What would change in your life? How would you approach love, work, and everything in between? So next time rejection hits, don't run from it. Face it, embrace it. Let it make you stronger, because the truth is, every rejection is preparing you for the next big opportunity. Have you ever looked back on a rejection and realized it made you better? If you have, share it in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And remember, resilience isn't about avoiding pain. It's about thriving because of it. 4. Rejection highlights hidden opportunities. Have you ever had something you desperately wanted, a relationship, a job, or a dream, and it didn't work out? At the time, it felt like the universe was against you. But then, months or years later, you realized that what you thought was the worst thing to happen turned out to be a blessing in disguise. Let me share a personal story. After Sarah rejected me, I spent months feeling lost. I couldn't see past the pain of her no. But during that time, I started focusing on myself, my passions, my career, and my friendships. One day, while volunteering for a community project I'd joined to distract myself, I met someone who completely changed my life. She wasn't Sarah, and at first, I didn't even think I was ready for love again. But this person saw me for who I truly was, and our connection was effortless. That's the thing about rejection, it often clears the path for hidden opportunities you never would have seen otherwise. Think about it. If Sarah hadn't rejected me, I wouldn't have taken the time to grow or met someone better aligned with me. Marcus Aurelius believed that adversity often brings unseen blessings. He said, "Misfortune nobly born is good fortune." In other words, what seems like bad luck in the moment can lead to incredible opportunities if you stay open to them. So let me ask you, have you ever experienced a rejection that, looking back, led you to something greater? Maybe the person who rejected you wasn't capable of giving you the love you deserve. Or maybe losing that opportunity pushed you towards something far more fulfilling. Here's what I want you to do. Think about a time when rejection set you on a different path. How did it change your life? Was it for the better? The beauty of rejection is that it redirects us, often toward things we didn't even know we needed. Remember, rejection doesn't define your worth, it opens doors to the opportunities that are truly meant for you. Stay curious. Stay hopeful. Who knows? Your next opportunity could be just around the corner. When was the last time someone rejected you? Think back to how it felt. Did you wonder if you weren't good enough, attractive enough, or smart enough? That's the default reaction we all have, blaming ourselves. But what if I told you that rejection often has nothing to do with you? Let me share something I learned the hard way. After Sarah rejected me, I was convinced it was because of me, something I lacked. I couldn't stop replaying every interaction, wondering what I did wrong. But one day, I ran into her at a mutual friend's party. She casually mentioned that she wasn't looking for a relationship at the time because she was dealing with family issues. Her rejection had nothing to do with me, it was about her own circumstances. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, don't waste time worrying about others' opinions. Focus on your character. This is so powerful. Rejection is rarely about your worth. It's about the other person's perspective, needs, or timing. Think of it this way. When you choose not to date someone, is it because they're inherently unworthy of love? No, it's usually because they're not the right fit for you. The same applies when someone rejects you. So let me ask you this, have you ever rejected someone? Not because they weren't good enough, but because it just didn't feel right. If you've done it, why would you assume someone else's rejection of you is personal? Here's a shift in perspective. Instead of seeing rejection as a critique of who you are, see it as the other person's way of acknowledging that they can't give you what you deserve. And honestly, isn't that better? Would you want someone to stay out of pity or obligation? Rejection is a filter, not a reflection of your value. Remember this the next time it happens. It's not personal, it's perspective. 6. Reverse the rejection energy. Imagine this scenario. You confess your love to someone and they turn you down. What's the first thing you feel? Pain, sadness, maybe even anger. But what if I told you there's a way to flip that energy into something powerful, something that works in your favor? Let me tell you what happened after Sarah rejected me. For weeks, I was stuck in a cycle of self-pity. But one day, I made a decision. Instead of chasing her or wallowing in my pain, I was going to focus entirely on myself. I joined a gym, picked up painting, something I'd always wanted to try, and even started a side hustle. At first, I was doing it to distract myself, but then something amazing happened. As I started improving myself, I began feeling confident and happy again. And here's the ironic part. Once I stopped seeking Sarah's attention, she actually reached out to me. But by then, I'd realized I didn't need her validation anymore. This is the power of reversing rejection energy. Instead of letting it pull you down, use it as fuel to rise. Marcus Aurelius believed in turning obstacles into opportunities. He said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." So let me ask you, what would happen if, instead of chasing someone who rejected you, you put all that energy into becoming the best version of yourself? What if you focused on your goals, your passions, and your personal growth? Here's the truth. The more you invest in yourself, the less rejection will hurt. In fact, you might even find that the person who rejected you starts noticing you in a new light. But by then, you'll have built so much confidence and self-worth that their opinion won't matter as much. Rejection isn't the end, it's a redirection. So take that pain, flip it, and use it to build the life you deserve. Have you ever done this before? If not, why not start today? 7. Rejection forces you to level up. Have you ever looked back at a rejection and thought, that was the wake-up call I needed? Because here's the truth, rejection is one of life's greatest motivators. It forces you to pause, reflect, and ask, what can I do better? How can I grow from this? When Sarah rejected me, it stung. But after the initial pain, I realized I'd been coasting in certain areas of my life. I wasn't pushing myself to grow, to improve, or to truly pursue my passions. Her rejection forced me to confront that. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The obstacle is the way." What he meant is that challenges, including rejection, aren't roadblocks, they're opportunities to level up. If Sarah hadn't said no, I wouldn't have started working on myself. I wouldn't have discovered my passion for writing, reconnected with old friends, or become the person I am today. So let me ask you, have you ever experienced a rejection that pushed you to become better? Maybe a breakup inspired you to get in shape, or losing a job led you to a career you love? Rejection is a mirror, it shows you where you can grow. The key is not to let it define you, but to let it refine you. The next time someone says, "No," don't see it as the end. See it as the beginning of your next chapter. What will you do with that rejection? How will you use it to level up? Because trust me, the best version of you is still waiting to be discovered. 8. Rejection teaches self-love. When was the last time you truly looked in the mirror and loved the person staring back at you? Rejection has a way of making us doubt our worth. But what if I told you that every rejection is an opportunity to fall back in love with yourself? Let me tell you about a moment that changed my life. After Sarah rejected me, I spiraled into a cycle of self-doubt. I started picking apart everything about myself, my looks, my personality, even the way I laughed. I thought, if only I were better, she wouldn't have said no. But one evening, while scrolling aimlessly on my phone, I came across a quote by Marcus Aurelius. "You have worth within yourself." Something about those words hit me hard. Why was I waiting for someone else's approval to feel worthy? Why wasn't my love for myself enough? So I made a promise to myself. I was going to treat myself the way I wanted others to treat me. I started journaling, listing things I liked about myself, even if it felt awkward at first. I took myself on solo dates, going to a cafe, watching a movie, or hiking alone. Over time, I began to see myself not as someone who had been rejected, but as someone worthy of love, starting with my own. Let me ask you this, how often do you show yourself the love you're so eager to give others? How often do you forgive yourself for your mistakes? Speak kindly to yourself or prioritize your happiness? Here's the truth. Rejection isn't about someone else saying you're not enough. It's about realizing you've always been enough. Their opinion doesn't change your value. The love you're looking for starts within you. If you've ever felt unworthy because of rejection, I want you to try this. Write down 3 things you love about yourself. It could be your sense of humor, your resilience, or even the way you always care for others. Carry that list with you and remind yourself of it every day. Rejection doesn't define you, your self-love does. And when you truly love yourself, you'll see that no rejection can ever take that away. 9. Rejection strengthens your empathy. Have you ever thought about how rejection feels on the other side? Have you ever had to reject someone yourself? It's not easy, is it? The sting of rejection, while painful, can actually make you more empathetic, not just toward others, but toward yourself. Let me share something deeply personal. After Sarah rejected me, I spent weeks consumed by my own pain. But then I remembered a time in college when I had to turn down someone who liked me. Her name was Emily, and she was sweet and kind, but I just didn't feel the same way. I remember the look on her face when I told her I'll never forget it. She walked away with tears in her eyes, and I felt terrible. Not because I had done something wrong, but because I knew how much courage it took for her to share her feelings. When Sarah rejected me, I finally understood how Emily must have felt both the courage it took for her to confess and the pain of being turned down. That moment taught me something important. Rejection isn't an act of cruelty. It's an act of honesty. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." When you're rejected, it's easy to feel hurt and blame the other person. But empathy allows you to see the bigger picture. Maybe they're dealing with their own fears or struggles. Maybe they're not in a place to give you the love you deserve. So let me ask you, have you ever rejected someone? Did it make you a bad person, or were you just being true to your feelings? And if you can understand your reasons for rejecting someone, Can you extend the same understanding to those who've rejected you? Rejection, painful as it is, builds a bridge of empathy between you and others. It reminds you that we're all human, navigating love and life the best we can. The next time you face rejection, try to see it through their eyes. You might find that understanding softens the sting and helps you heal faster. 10. Rejection prepares you for real love. Here's a question for you. What's your definition of real love? Is it butterflies and excitement? Or is it something deeper: trust, connection, and mutual respect? Rejection, as much as it hurts, prepares you for the kind of love that truly lasts. Let me explain. After Sarah rejected me, I went through a phase where I thought love was just about finding someone who liked me back. But as time passed, I realized something important. Sarah didn't reject me because I wasn't lovable. She rejected me because we weren't truly compatible. And that's okay. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." When it comes to love, the same principle applies. If you're fixated on someone who doesn't see your worth, you're settling for less than you deserve. Rejection clears the way for the kind of love that matches your values, your dreams, and your soul. Think about it. If you've been rejected, it means one thing: they weren't the right person for you. Real love doesn't leave you questioning your worth. It doesn't make you chase or beg for attention. Real love meets you halfway, with effort and honesty. Let me ask you, have you ever been with someone who made you feel small or unimportant? How did that relationship make you feel in the long run? Now, imagine being with someone who truly sees you flaws and all and loves you anyway. Doesn't that sound like the love you deserve? Rejection isn't the end of your love story. It's the beginning of a better one. It's life's way of saying, hold on, someone better is coming. But for that to happen, you have to trust the process. You have to believe that every no is leading you closer to the right yes. So the next time someone rejects you, don't see it as a failure. See it as preparation. Real love is out there, waiting for you. And when it finds you, you'll look back on every rejection and realize it was worth it. Lesson 11. Rejection shows you what you truly want. Let me ask you something. Have you ever wanted something so badly, only to lose it and later realize it wasn't right for you? That's the power of rejection. It forces you to confront what truly matters in your life. After Sarah rejected me, I spent weeks convinced that she was the one for me. I thought, if only she had said yes, everything would be perfect. But as I reflected on our time together, I began to notice things I had ignored. We didn't have the same values, and we wanted very different things from life. I realized that I wasn't heartbroken over Sarah herself. I was heartbroken over the idea of love. Marcus Aurelius taught, it is not events that disturb us, but our interpretation of them. Rejection often feels devastating because we tie our happiness to a specific outcome. We think this person is the only one who can make me happy. But the truth is, rejection helps us reassess what we actually want and need in a partner. So let me ask you, what qualities do you truly want in someone? Is it kindness, loyalty, humor, or shared dreams? Have you ever been so focused on one person that you overlooked whether they actually meet those needs? Rejection is like a compass. It redirects you toward your true desires, the ones you may not even realize you have. After Sarah, I took the time to understand myself better, what I wanted from a relationship and what I needed to feel fulfilled. That clarity helped me recognize the right person when they came along. Here's a little exercise for you. Grab a piece of paper and write down the qualities you want in a partner. Be honest and specific. Then ask yourself if the person who rejected you truly aligns with that list. You might be surprised by the answer. Rejection isn't just an end, it's a powerful beginning. It strips away illusions and helps you focus on what truly matters. And trust me, when you meet someone who aligns with your deepest desires, every rejection will feel like a stepping stone to finding them. 12. Rejection builds resilience. When was the last time life knocked you down and you thought you couldn't get back up, but you did? Rejection is one of those moments. It feels crushing at first, but every time you rise, you become stronger, more resilient, and more prepared for the challenges ahead. When Sarah rejected me, I thought it was the end of the world. I spent nights replaying her words, wondering why I wasn't good enough. But eventually something shifted. I started asking myself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this pain to grow? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. That's what rejection teaches us, strength.